Donnell Jones. You know what's up, do you? So Donald Trump is having the first rally after the COVID pandemic. I guess it's ratcheting back up. But he is doing his first rally in a few months. And he decided to go to Tulsa, Oklahoma, a site that is particularly important for black people. It is the site of the massacre on the day that we were emancipated. So it's Juneteenth. And he says he's going there to celebrate and to tout all the good things that are happening for black America. It is another case of somebody doing something duplicitous and acting as if he has no idea what the significance is. Anybody who says out of his mouth that he doesn't understand what that means to black people, particularly in that city, particularly on that day, is either at best obtuse, at worst a liar, and maybe both. Right now in America, we are literally at a battle for what we were and what we want to be. Right now, this president is saying, I will never rename these 10 military bases that are named after treasonous leaders. These men committed treason, and they are honored with the fact that we have our bases there. Nobody ever asked people how they felt about it. Now, there are people who are actually arguing for Confederate statues. The bottom line is this. It would be like if we were in a relationship and that a relationship had been abusive. And we have worked through all that and tried to work through it all that. And all of a sudden, I keep the mementos of the ass whoopings I handed out to you. I keep the hospital bands. I keep the bandages. I keep the stitches. I keep the pictures of your bruises. And I keep them around in places that you have to go and see all the time. But yet I'm telling you, we should get over it. We should move on. But I keep all of the symbols of the brutality I once visited upon you. I think that this nation has the potential to lurch forward, not go all the way, but certainly to move forward. It will depend on how we act right now. It depends on what we do right now. Like the legislation that was proposed a few days ago, I want to see a senator get up and argue against banning the chokehold. I want to see someone actually extol the merits and the virtues of such a heinous procedure. I want them to have to do it. I want a senator to get up and tell me why policemen need to be over-militarized. I want a senator to get up and tell me why that they don't need a national database wherever somebody, if a bad cop is fired, he can then go somewhere else. Listen, no matter what you do, if you've committed a crime when you're a felon, just because you're in Los Angeles don't mean that record don't follow you to Houston. It does. If you're a sex offender and you move, that record follows you. If you're a bad cop and you move, that record should follow you too. So I think these are common sense approaches, and the reason that people do not want them, much like people won't admit that what's happening in Tulsa, Oklahoma on the 19th was proposed to happen, is obtuse or deliberate, then we can't have any kind of reconciliation, because people are doing things and pretending like, oh, well, you shouldn't question my motive. That's all I have. All I've ever seen you do is to do things and pretend like you didn't know what was going on. The bottom line is this: is we is or is we ain't. This is a tremendous moment in our time. You have NASCAR driving cars that say Black Lives Matter. You have people that are getting fired. Like a couple of companies left Tucker Carlson for his incredibly racist and incendiary. A couple of companies left and put Black Lives Matter as they signed off. So if they matter, if it is in fact that we are moving forward, you should remove all the things that you need to feel good and that we need to make feel better. If you need those things so you feel better, and it's despite the way they make other people feel, then we're not going anywhere. If they matter, they should matter to the extent that we don't want all of these vestiges of who we used to be impacting who we can be. That's a little note from the GED section. We got the Jazz Report coming up in 15 minutes. It's the D.L. Hughley Show.